I'm going to make you a promise. Give me just 8 minutes in this video. And in return, I'll give you the real map to financial freedom. This map is not just a theory. I'm talking about a system tested in the lives of millions of people. First, let me tell you a short story. Years ago, there was a young man working in a call center. He was buried in debt up to his neck. Becoming a millionaire seemed a million miles away to him. Today, that man is completely financially free. So what changed, my friend? Was it just his income that grew? No. His strategy changed because there is a strategy for getting out of debt and there is a system for building wealth. Now, I'm going to tell you an uncomfortable truth. Earning more money will not make you rich. It sounds backwards, I know, but the numbers are right there. In America, they studied households earning $150,000 a year. 1 out of every 3 of them still struggles to make it to the end of the month. There are people whose income jumped from $50,000 to $100,000. And still, they're broke. There are people who went from $100,000 to $200,000. They're broke too. So how is this even possible? The answer has a name: lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, your spending grows with it. As the people around you earn more, you spend more. And in this age, you're facing a giant enemy. The phone in your pocket was designed to make you spend. The algorithms are more powerful than at any point in history. Their goal is not to sell to you once. Their goal is to make you a customer for life. In short, an invisible war is being fought over your income. And in this war, the government takes the first cut. Imagine starting work at 9 in the morning. From 9 until noon, you're actually working for taxes. From noon until 3, you're working for housing and food. And from 3 until 5, for everything else. So which hour of the day belongs to you? That, my friend, is the real question. Now, there's a very important lesson to learn from the government. The government never asks you to budget. It takes your taxes from your paycheck automatically because it knows one truth very well. If the money reaches your hands first, there will be nothing left to give. People who build wealth all over the world have learned this lesson. They turn the government's own method to their own advantage. How? The rule is very simple. Keep the first hour of your day for yourself, meaning the first slice of your income goes to you. Even if you earn minimum wage, this rule applies. Even if you're a highly paid executive, it still applies. The first person paid from your paycheck will be you. So how much money are we talking about? 1 hour of your day means roughly 12.5% of your gross income. You will not spend this money. You will direct this money into investments. And right here, the magic word comes in: automatic. The secret to wealth is not budgeting. The secret is not strict discipline either. The secret is money that moves without your hands ever touching it. The day your paycheck lands, a portion goes to investments automatically. You will never even see that money, and you can't miss money you never see. Don't trust your willpower, my friend. Trust the system. So, where should you put this money? Almost every country has a tax-advantaged retirement account. In America, it's called a 401k plan. In the United Kingdom, workplace pensions run on automatic enrollment. In Australia, the superannuation system is mandatory. There, employers pay 12% of your salary into a retirement fund. In Canada, our RSP accounts offer tax advantages. In Germany, company pensions and private retirement plans are widespread. In Japan, there are state-supported personal investment accounts. And in Turkey, the private pension system offers a state contribution. So wherever you live, you have a tool in your hands. Now, let me give you the proven formula. Let's look at the data from one of America's largest fund companies. In this company's retirement plans, there are 654,000 millionaires. These people did not win the lottery. They didn't inherit a fortune either. These are ordinary salaried employees. So what did they do? They invested roughly 14% of their gross income consistently, and their employers added a small contribution on top. Then they put that money to work for growth. Growth means stocks. The portfolios of these millionaires were roughly 70% stock. The remaining 30% was in bonds. Ordinary people, meanwhile, save only 3 to 5% of their income. Over a lifetime, that difference turns into millions. Someone who starts this formula in their 20s is financially free by 55. Now let's look at the big picture. In America today, there are roughly 24 million millionaires. 20 years ago, that number was only a third of what it is today. So where did all this wealth come from? There are 2 escalators rising toward wealth. The first, stocks. The second, real estate. If you're outside these 2, you are being left behind. The numbers show this clearly. In America, $34 trillion has accumulated in home equity. That figure has grown 90% since before the pandemic. And retirement accounts hold $45 trillion. These 2 alone add up to $80 trillion. If you want to trace the wealth, the breadcrumbs are right in front of you. Over the last 20 years, the stock market rose 600%. A $100,000 investment grew to $600,000. In the same period, home prices rose 400%. Now let's get into the most controversial topic. Is buying a home a good investment? Some experts tell you a house is a bad investment. The numbers, however, tell a completely different story. In America, homeowners are 40 times wealthier than renters. The average homeowner has a net worth of over $400,000. The average renter's net worth is just $10,000. That gap is no coincidence. So how does owning a home make people wealthy? The secret is leverage. Picture a $200,000 house. You put down $40,000. The bank finances the rest. 10 years later, the house is worth $400,000. After the pandemic, this actually happened. In cities all over the world, your profit was $200,000, but you had only invested $40,000. That means you made 5 times your down payment. And this is exactly what the stock market comparison overlooks. They say the market returns 10% a year on average, but a home has leverage. And in many countries, the profit from selling your home enjoys tax advantages. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. Rents never stop rising. In New York in the early 2000s, a nice apartment was $6,000 a month. Today, that same apartment is $25,000. In London, in Toronto, in Sydney, in Istanbul, the picture is no different. Now let's do some simple math. Picture someone paying $5,000 a month in rent. That's $60,000 a year. In 10 years, $600,000. In 30 years, a full $2 million. And in this calculation, the rent never even goes up. In real life, rent rises every single year. So what do you have left in return for all that money? Nothing. And do you really think renting protects you from the expenses? The landlord's taxes, the insurance, the repairs. You're actually the one paying for all of it. Because the landlord passes those costs straight into the rent. He bought that property as an investment. Nobody buys a house to subsidize you. In every rental transaction, someone is definitely getting rich, and that someone is not the renter. Now let's turn to a famous theory. They say, rent and invest the difference in the stock market. On paper, it looks logical. But in the real world, people don't do it. They rent apartments beyond their budget, and they spend whatever is left over. By their mid-30s, they have no house and no saving. And there's one more truth. You cannot live inside an index fund. As long as you're alive, you'll need a roof over your head. Owning a home pushes you into forced savings. Every payment you make adds a brick to your own wealth. Every rent payment adds a brick to someone else's. The choice is yours, my friend. I know what you're thinking right now. Home prices have skyrocketed and incomes are not rising at the same pace. This is a real problem all over the world, but it is not unsolvable. Let me give you a real example. A young man graduated from college with $12,000 of credit card debt. He couldn't buy his first home alone, so he bought it together with his best friend. They split the down payment in 2. The house they bought was falling apart. They didn't even have the money for the mortgage payments, so they rented the empty rooms to their friends. The incoming rent covered the payments. Years later, that rundown house became the foundation of a fortune. Let me give you one more example. Picture an ordinary middle-income couple. Their average yearly income was around $40,000. They bought a small house in a modest neighborhood. They paid off the mortgage patiently. Then they bought a second house on the very same street. They paid that one off too. They lived in one and rented out the other. And all along, they kept putting money into their retirement account. By the time the man turned 52, their net worth was $1.8 million. There was no lottery, no inheritance, and no giant salary. There was only a system and patience. There's one more thing I can't leave out. Generational wealth is passed down mostly through the home. If a family never buys a home, the odds of the next generation buying one drop as well, because the inherited house becomes the children's down payment. So the step you take today doesn't just save you, it changes your children's destiny too. Now let's pull it all together. 1. Be the first person paid from your paycheck. 2. Set aside at least 12% of your income for yourself. 3. Connect that money to an automatic system. 4. Use your country's tax advantage retirement account. 5. Invest the money for growth, weighted towards stock. 6. Step onto the home ownership ladder at the first opportunity. Buy with a partner if you must, rent out a room if you must, but start. Remember, wealth is not a matter of income. Wealth is a matter of systems. Don't wait for the perfect moment. 20 years from now, you will look back at today. Either you'll say, I wish I had started, or you'll say, thank goodness I did. And you're making that decision today, right now, my friend. If you've watched this far, you've already taken the first step. See you soon, my dear viewer.